Episode 6 of Night Fight. Today we've got some special treats for you at home.
With the new showing of Night Fight, we got an increased budget, which for you means more weapons, more players, more action.
We have also managed to create a whole new mode as far for this tournament, and we are going to be actually starting off without the Grand Melee. And in turn, we are going to be starting with this new game mode called a rotating team melee. But first, let's go introduce today's fighters.
Feels good to be back. Man, it was a rough time after that fight. I got destroyed pretty well, as you guys can see, and well, it took a lot to get back to my feet, but here I am, and I'm ready to prove myself. I'm ready to get back in there, and I'm ready to prove myself. Hopefully no weird stuff happen again, but I'm here, and I'm ready. Bring it on.
Stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. I'm a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady.
Here we are again, another episode of Night Fight. Exciting one. Got my new shield, equipments, new challenger back, Edwin the Big Man. Surprised to see him back actually. After that incident, you should get out there, have a great time, kick some ass.
So many battles I have been tested. I've never failed, never have been bested. No evil will draw near because I am here. One for all, coasting through his ascent.
Alright, today's episode should be super exciting. My leg is healed up, so I don't feel like I'm dragging it around anymore. I got a brand new weapon, one that I've been kind of admiring for a long time, but now it's in my hands. So I've changed up my defense actually a little bit. We got these new tower shields, and I've rigged this to be kind of a shell to protect my back, and developed a little new style that you might get to see. Hopefully that'll work out. I got a little something hidden for the other guys that I think will be pretty fun to play with. This is gonna be fun.
When I have found the answer I seek, I will challenge them to see if they are truly deserving of this title they preach. I am a god among common men. Your very fate.
Glad to be back. Fought to stay on the show last episode, so I'm ready to try and continue the momentum on that victory there. And I'm trying some new things today just with my loadout. I've got my spear, which I haven't really used a lot on the show, and I'm also rocking my trusty arming sword Amicus as well. Usually I do a single weapon in the first in the Grand Melee, but trying to keep my options a little bit more open. And as I'm sure you've noticed, I've got a brand new tower shield, which I'm very excited to field test today. So I think it's going to be a great fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, fellas, what did you think? First impressions?
It's ought to be exciting.
You okay there, Rip Richards?
You know, Fitz, I'm just so looking forward to the rotating teams. I'm really excited to see what the combatants are going to offer in this exciting new game mode. Yeah, we've got the new gear out there. I'm excited to see how the fighters utilize these new options, this new equipment, to show some carnage.
Man, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. As far as we got Liam playing a very interesting spear tech game with coupling with his now named Special Arming Sword. So we might be seeing a lot of switching off, probably to avoid any altercations as far as seizing his spear. We got Jason with it is a smaller shield, especially compared to the other 2 shields that we got, but it is by far the strongest.
Yeah, it's sturdy.
Very sturdy, able to take hits and parry hits if he uses it
Wouldn't want to
correctly.
get bashed by that out on the
Oh,
field.
definitely not.
Just eat that shit.
We got Owen, who's using a very aggressive double-bladed weapon. I can't wait to see what kind of twirls and flourishes, and hopefully tech he goes up, especially in a 1v2 setting in case his partner gets separated. He can potentially hold his own. And then, of course, we got Evan the Big Mac, who's got, it looked like he wasn't even interested in his weapons.
I appreciate the spirit, but I question the wisdom.
Well, it sounds like you guys about covered everything.
So you may be wondering to yourself, what is this rotating team melee? What does it consist of? Well, here's a short clip and short animation to explain all the rules and everything that goes into it.
The following animation will show the rules and format of the rotating team melee. At the start of the first heat, fighters will be randomly paired up into 2 separate teams of 2. After the first heat, the fighters will rotate around so that each fighter gets a new partner for the second heat. For the final heat, the fighters will rotate around again so that they get a new partner that they haven't had in the previous 2 heats. Each heat will be 1 minute and 30 seconds long. The fighters will have the same weapon and armor loadout for every partner that they have. They will be judged individually on aggression, defense, technique, and teamwork capabilities. The best pair from all 3 heats will directly move on into the final duel.
And for everyone that might need a reminder at home, here is all of our standard melee rules. Say let's get into that first heat.
There we
Ooh,
go.
so first up we got Liam and Edwin versus Owen and Jason. I'm excited to see how this plays off.
Ooh, Liam trying to work some staff action there with the spear.
Owen doing some twirls to parry off Edwin's Kopesh.
Both teams staying relatively together. As I say that, they divide. Well,
Edwin's getting
Carrying off
punished
a bit.
there.
just get
Liam too.
Oh yeah, Liam got a double. Oh, Edwin got hit in the back of the head.
We see that Liam shuffle, but there's just 0 synergy on his team.
Oh, Owen stole the spear.
Spear has been thrown.
See some hesitance here. Ooh, vicious try there.
Both sides clashing.
Again, we see the team split, but Liam doubles back to try and cover his teammate. Mixed results. Takes the bait going in on Jason.
Owen seems to be like trying to lure off both of them while Jason tries to get pop shots here and there on Liam.
Looks like he's
just getting 3 shots in an Edwin there.
Looks like Liam's struggling to control that large shield.
Edwin has very little awareness as far as battle, and his defense is not doing well, especially with these long-range weapons that everyone else has.
He's just getting eaten alive out there.
Ooh, got a little oh, Liam giving chase but taking hits. And
That's the first
time.
heat. Absolutely pathetic showing from Edwin and Liam's team there.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah, it wasn't really the best as far as, especially with
Fucking embarrassing.
I gotta pointed out here, especially Edwin there, he was just had his head in the clouds. He just was getting poked left and right and didn't even seem to be reacting.
I mean, to be fair, he did get a little bonk on the back of the head in the middle of the fight.
A little bit of disorientation there. Maybe we'll have him checked out by medical.
Probably not. He still has 2 more heats to go.
I think Liam could have been tried to pick up the slack for Edwin's lack of technique there, but should have focused more on covering his partner's frankly non-existent defense. Instead, you see him getting baited out a lot into needless aggression by the other team. Just gets punished for it.
Yeah, not much synergy going on in between those two. Meanwhile, Owen and Jason had a wonderful teamwork going on. Owen and being sort of the bait, taking on both of them, while Jason getting in some pokes on both
Utilizing
sides.
that double-bladed sword there.
It was really well done for those two.
Yeah, they did work to divide their attention and really got in there. It's a good fight. At least, well, not a good fight, but they did a good job.
Let's get into that second heat.
Right. Oh, Owen just tossed the shield. And
And so does Liam.
They're
Right into the aggression there.
so it looks like these two have decided to go with full
Whoa.
aggression.
We see a thrust towards Edwin's face there with the spear.
Oh. Owen is holding off Jason's shield and longsword. Well, Edwin just stole Liam's spear, but
And he seizes the spear and goes right into it with the sword.
Owen going.
he's bound Jason. Jason not sure what to do. Edwin
manages to
attempting
escape.
Free.
with a couple of pokes in here and there.
Whoa. Shoves him in there.
Whoa! Jesus. Trying a little bit too high.
Owen trying to keep the enemy team at bay here while Liam tries to flank around.
Oh, he gets a good flank. Oh, seizes the spear. Edwin is just
Eating Edwin apart there.
Oh, and Owen's tried to grab the blade. Wasn't a smart idea. Owen gets a free hit. Oh, but Edwin does get
smacks the back of the knee there.
Yeah.
Win with that.
Oh, Owen just threw his dagger at Edwin's neck. We got a focus fight now.
We've split into 2 1v1s here for the meantime.
Edwin
just.
he's trying to recover from that surprise neck hit, but Liam is just getting hits here and there.
Oh, and we see
Keeping
Liam
him-
wheel around, try and get on Jason while he's distracted.
Keeping him at bay. Good lord.
Interesting grip Edwin's got on the spear there.
Oh, looks like they switched opponents.
Affording very little control,
Owen
just sort of
is
waving it
getting
around.
3 jabs and slices at Edwin's legs, while Liam is going in a full-on fight with Jason, and Edwin is literally doing nothing to defend himself.
He looks wounded. He seems to be hobbling a bit there.
And that's time.
And that's the end.
Whew, well, that round of combat was another just brutal slog, I would say. Yeah, again, I gotta say, Edwin just not holding his own out there. I don't know what's up with him.
You got another neck shot in on him from Owen.
Lots of head trauma. You love to see it. As just the immediate aggression from Owen and Liam's team there. Shields discarded, just full steam ahead, right out the gate.
I think Owen wanted
They tried
to
it.
take advantage of Liam's targeted aggression and use it at its fullest potential.
And with Edwin kind of out, Jason the Druid was stuck with kind of a 2v1 situation.
It seems like whoever's got Edwin on their team is kind of stuck with some dead weight there. You know, I like some of the technique also from Owen and Liam's team towards the start before Liam loses the spear. You see them trying to coordinate that longer range assault against some mid-range combatants.
But it's also got to be said that losing the spear might have been the best advantage to them because Edwin did not know at all what to do. Liam just used it to get to him closer with the arming sword.
Just took up one of his offhands, clearly doesn't know what he's doing. It would have been better overall if he just discarded it as we see Owen do in the first heat.
Yeah, it was just used.
Dead weight carrying dead weight.
He was just used to keep him at bay while, especially right at the end there, if you saw, Owen just held the spear away and kept him away while he just got free hits in non-stop, and Edwin did literally nothing to defend.
Jolly poor show.
Very. For Edwin. Everyone else is doing pretty alright. It's gotta be said, though.
Yeah. Some of the best work we've seen from the veterans.
I know.
That's right.
They seem to be pretty happy with their new new equipment.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And working together. Really gets more focus in that whole situation.
You can see they've all got the time in,
Except for Edwin.
except for
Very much except for Edwin.
Let's get into the final heat of the rotating team melee.
Alright, so now we got Owen with the dead weight.
Versus Jason and Liam,
Edwin.
rivals turned allies.
He just looks like he just gave Edwin the tower shield and
Nothing else. Edwin hasn't drawn his weapons at all.
just using the shield.
Does he know what show he's on?
Oh, look at this altercation. Owen stole the shield. Liam
The
discarded
shield is down.
Oh, the camera got
Damage to
hit.
one of our cameras.
That camera is out for the fight.
I suppose it is.
Liam seems to have lost his shield for some reason and is just kind of compensating with the type of mindless aggression we've come to expect.
Yeah, he's
Just
going
giving and
full out
taking
on
everything.
He's going full out on Owen.
Jason just shifts his attention to this grapple here.
Edwin is
just ignore Edwin.
attempting to push him out of the way, but now he's just kind of standing there,
Jason-
not knowing what to do.
Jason capitalizes on Owen in the grapple there.
Yeah, getting tons of free hits.
It looks like Owen's plan was to think he would be better with the 1v2 rather than having Edwin even be in there at all.
Just acting as a stage hazard at this point. And hazards used real lightly.
We see Liam trying to do something unclear there with Edwin and the shield.
Yeah, Owen, is very much attempting to fight off both of them, while Edwin is just the Edwin shuffle and just walking.
Oh, we have a light. Oh, Liam has stolen one of Edwin's swords and is getting some vicious slashes on him.
Ooh, looks like everyone got a weapon though.
Edwin stole Liam's.
Oh, and then Jason stole it.
no, and then what is going on?
Playing musical chairs out there with the equipment.
And
That's time. The wackiest gameplay I've seen.
What in the actual hell did I just watch?
Boys, that's knife fight.
You're not wrong.
We have the dead weight out there, holding the shield, doing not much of anything. And towards the end there, we play musical chairs. Everybody switched equipment.
I'm not really sure Owen and Edwin had a true plan. I think Owen's plan was just have Edwin take the shield off his hands, and then he was gonna attempt a 1v2. I think that, and that was pretty much what seemed to happen.
Yeah, that's what seemed to have happened.
Recognized the dead weight after learning from the previous two heats. Decided he would just do it himself.
Still not looking good for Owen, though, even though...
Did the best he could, but yeah, that 2v1 is a hard thing to manage.
It's very hard, which luckily he was pretty well equipped with his double blade, but even still, fighting against two opponents at any time is a challenge. Gentlemen, we must discuss who must move on. So, right off the bat, remember, we are looking for the best pair to move on. Who had the best aggression, technique, defense,
Synergy.
and teamwork synergy overall? So, I think it's easy to say any pair had Edwin.
Well, that was a tough match. Man, I can confidently say I'm moving on though. That was my best work, and I put my heart and soul into that. I just know for a fact that I took some pretty big hits, but I delivered too, and I know those guys weren't ready. I put my best into it.
Flop. What else? No. He was only dead weight for all three times. There not much went on with him, and he only brought the teams down.
Which turns it into a question of Owen and Liam, Jason and Liam, or Jason and Owen.
All three are great fighters, and all three did have pretty good synergy. All three had pretty good aggression. The Owen-Liam team had by far the strongest aggression, especially right off the bat in their fights.
I think they had a great deal of synergy as well. At an admittedly simplistic tactic they seem to be using, just full steam ahead raw aggression, they kept to it for the most part for the duration of their heat.
Yeah, as you can see through my sweat, that was a fucking intense heat. Probably the most intense we've ever done. It was definitely fun finding everybody. It was great. It was wonderful. I kind of lost steam at the end there, but my first 2 heats, I felt super strong. I felt super great. I feel like I got kicked ass with those guys. It was really well, and I think I put it all on the table. It's time for the judges to see what they thought.
But it's really hard to tell from the other fights, such as like the Jason and Liam fights, where it was more of a 2v1 than anything. So
It's hard to compare because everybody had to fight against a dead weight team, you know?
So essentially, the question comes down to who did it the best. As far as the last heat right there, the Liam Jason team, it was like every other was 2v1, but I think Owen fared okay. As for his circumstances, we're still bouncing between not realizing Edwin was just kind of there.
It was such a moment of disbelief that he wouldn't be armed that clearly took them a moment to realize.
The Jason Owen team was all around, I would say, pretty well.
some nice fun fights we had out there. All of us just showing in. It was just an absolute pleasure having to fight alongside these guys. Just I like to think they're my best friends. But unfortunately, only 2 of us are going to be able to move on. And I hope that I get to make it.
They had a strong offense, they had a strong defense.
Liam and Edwin weren't really able to hold up much at all against them. You know, you saw Liam getting just worked there, taking a lot of hits of opportunity, trying his best to try and defend his teammate. It seemed like he couldn't make up his mind whether to focus on the 2v1 or to try and compensate for the lackluster partner he had.
Yeah, in that matchup, Liam and Edwin seemed to have been on the back foot the entire time.
At least with the other names, Jason and Owen with Edwin were able to do a little bit of a pushback, but with the Liam Edwin team, they had no room for anything. They tried everything. They tried was shut down.
You know, I said it earlier, fucking team fights, it's a whole nother beast, but it's so fun, so creative. Getting out there and seeing what I was capable of with all the other guys, I feel I started to understand my own fighting style a bit and things I can improve, and I definitely got a better understanding of their fighting styles for future matches. I think in all of my team-ups I did pretty good, especially those last 2. I feel I really let loose with the trademark aggression that the fans come to expect. During that final heat, Owen the Phoenix got me pretty good there on the elbow. Didn't hit my funny bone, so it could have been worse, could have been more debilitating. I don't know how much good this arm will be to me if I do move on, but I'm not going to let it hold me back. It's up to the judges, so yeah. I think we have our decision.
I think we have our decisions. Let's call them in. During our deliberations, it has come to our attention that Liam the Oracle has suffered a minor injury that has kind of affected his performance with his arm. But rest assured, Liam, your injury did not affect our deliberations or our final results in any way.
Now, fighters, you had some great fights out there in this team battle, but only 2 of you will be moving on to the final round. The first challenger who will not be making it to the final round is
Edwin.
Edwin, the Big Mac.
Sorry, Edwin, you were really showing some promise, but unfortunately today was just not your day.
You've made an embarrassment out of armed combat. Leave and don't come back until you've improved.
Now, the two challengers who showed the greatest fighting prowess today and will be moving on to our final round are Jason the Druid and Owen the Phoenix.
Congratulations, fighters.
You two really showed great fighting prowess in all three of the fights, especially the one which you two were teamed together, which in.
Fighters, we have a very, very special final duel planned for the two of you. Because in this box, we have your final duel weapons. Jason the Druid and Owen the Phoenix, you will be fighting with a falchion that has been hidden in our forbidden armory for the last 2 years. And the Elven Nagamaki, a recent addition thanks to one entropy. Through chance and talks, Owen the Phoenix, you will be wielding the Elven Nagamaki. Jason the Druid, you will be wielding the falchion. As you can see, due to the size and the monster power behind these weapons, armor will be required. So, take this time, build up your gear, learn these weapons, get ready for the fight.
Fighting with your friends can be dangerous. That's why we chose Hollow Earth Swordworks. All weapons here on Night Fight are safe and guaranteed, never to break in full contact training or sparring. Every piece is handcrafted with beautiful, local, and exotic woods. For more information, visit their Etsy page at www.etsy.com/shop/hollowearthswords. Again, that is www.etsy.com/shop/hollowearthswords. Order today and become your own warrior. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Welcome back, everyone. We are just now getting ready for the final duel, the fated final duel between Jason the Druid and Owen the Phoenix, wielding Titan-sized weapons. So, how do you guys think this fight's gonna turn out?
Well, this is a really interesting fight. Both fighters using these massive, heavy weapons. It's going to be a big show of endurance.
I'm eager to see how they make the most out of these titanic tools they're using here. Definitely is going to be an endurance test. Hopefully we'll see some really impressive, heavy strikes, very aggressive actions to suit, these massive weapons.
I can see the weapons also fit their playstyle pretty well. Jason more on the defensive side. He's got the crossguard. He's got the massive size of the blade itself.
Huge pommel as well for pommel bashes.
Yeah, I'm doing the 1v1 against Owen today. We pulling out the big boys for this fight, apparently. Well, this isn't the first time I've had the privilege of fighting Owen one-on-one, and probably won't be the last. So, can only wish him luck, hope for the best. Let's see from there. Of course.
And we also got Owen the Phoenix with the range and versatility of his weapon.
Lots of fulcrum power behind that. Just this massive handle.
Alright, final duel once again. Judges have kind of forced us to wear our armor this time, so I've donned the Phoenix armor once again. I've stripped off the sides so it gives me more movement and not as bulky and restrictive, because I'm going to need that extra mobility for this insane but pretty cool Nagamaki. I also am kind of grateful though for this armor, because Jason's falchion is pretty terrifying, but I've beaten Jason before, so who's to say I can't do it again? But now, we shall see who will wield it better. Let's get into it. And they're off.
Touch on the arm there.
Yeah.
Keeping their
There's
swords
just
connected.
Yeah, there's a lot of pushing power between those two blades.
You see them connecting and then sort of battling for control of that center, you know?
Here. Oh, Jason has
got
seized the
control of the hand.
Some attempted thrusts there.
Oh, he looks like he just bashed Owen in the faceplate.
Little hits. Swipe.
Swipe.
Owen has thrown the mask!
Oh, a lot of aggression.
Immediately deflected.
See if you just go to a big overhead stance there. We can go low.
Getting a little slice along the arm, it looked like.
Both contestants just feeling each other out. Oh, Owen goes in.
Keeping each other on their guard.
Mm-hmm. Weird stances from Owen the Phoenix here.
But so far, seems to be good enough to keep Jason at bay.
Yeah, Jason the Druid just mostly trying to keep that blade in between him and his opponent.
Making the most out of that cross guard as well to try and control that center line.
Yes.
It's going just as expected. Jason is using the size of the blade and the crossguard to stay on the defensive. Meanwhile, Owen is using the range and versatility of his weapon to keep up the offense. It's just like the matchup in episode 2, only bigger. But there's something about Owen's technique with the Nagamaki that seems familiar.
Ooh.
And that crossguard putting in work.
Owen seems to be doing a lot of feint as well. Trying to make sure Jason doesn't get a good offensive edge, but ooh, nice. Oh, Jason attempted to seize the weapon again, but Owen was able to back off just in time.
A lot of really good back and forth action here.
Ooh,
Little thrust there.
thrust there. That's time.
That's time.
So thoughts, gentlemen?
Very close first heat overall, all things considered. A lot of strong neutral game from both sides as they try to feel each other out and keep each other on their toes.
Yeah, just really trying to see what the opponent will do. I see. Yes.
Yomi, the art of reading the mind of the opponent.
Jason had a strong opening though with that seizing of the Nagamaki
Oh, yeah.
and getting some strong hits in as well. Owen attempted to retaliate, but Jason was able to deflect them.
We do see Owen put up some very impressive feints though in that first heat there.
Owen definitely trying those combos with strikes, doing a sequence of blows.
He's got a lot of maneuverability with that.
Seems
blade,
very well practiced.
Yes.
thanks to the handle as well.
All right, well, fighters are ready, so let's get into the next heat.
Ooh, a lot of aggression from Owen.
Wow, a lot of aggression.
Yeah, but
Oh, a lot of twists. Wow. Oh, the trade. Jason is a.
oh, that was a hand shot.
Yeah.
Seems like Jason always has the worst luck with those hand shots. It's not a lot of points from a judging consideration, but definitely can affect, the overall swordplay throughout the game.
Oh, that was a nice technique thrust there. That was a
The
practice.
technique.
That was a practiced combo.
You definitely get the impression that Owen's trying to wear Jason down in this second heat here.
One could compare it to a Form 5 versus a Form 3.
A lot more of this neutral game. They're both trying to feel each other out.
The aggression continues. Ooh, is that another hand shot or just sweaty palms?
Jason's keeping up that defense, but it seems like he might be running out of gas. We're seeing a lot less aggression.
Going a lot slower.
The weight of that falchion over time definitely weighs on you.
Oh, yes.
Wait a second. That's why. He's fighting like him.
Massive heavy weapon. Even heavier than Owen the Phoenix's weapon.
Which is surprising.
Still just blocking those shots though.
Yeah. Jason, yeah, you could see him straggling a little bit, trying to barely keep on his feet. Ooh, some
Trying
leg
to
shots.
light on his feet.
Ooh.
Took the leg shot, but he's trying to stay light on his feet, getting some of those quick dodges and hops out of the way there, like there.
Oh, maybe another leg shot. Jason is.
Mostly trying to just avoid getting hit.
that was a stomach thrust.
Saw a lot of focus on the legs there.
And that's time.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, that was a lot of aggression, like straight up from Owen the Phoenix, and he held on to it pretty much that whole heat.
We'd also definitely see Jason feeling the fatigue there in that second heat after having to keep up defense under that kind of assault with such a unwieldy weapon.
You can see his movements were slowed both by moving, and it looked like he was barely holding on to his sword there near the end.
But he still did a decent job keeping up that defense.
Yep, he's still kept the weapon in between him and his opponent, which is half the battle.
What? Owen did get, though, even still, Owen did get a couple of jabs here and there, both in stomach and in legs.
We see him focus a lot on the legs during that second heat especially. One's reminded of Liam the Oracle's fighting style, where he tries to compensate for his reduced reach by focusing on the legs.
I think at this point, I think with this actually, it was Owen may have taken into account though the heaviness that was the blade and was able to use its extended reach to really reach the legs.
Oh yeah. With that weapon, it's really difficult to constantly be moving it up and down to defend the lower half.
Now, gentlemen, I need to decide tonight's champion for episode 6. Overall, Jason struck by far the best defense. He kept that shit up all the way to the end. Even fatigued, he was still able to barely block those hits and do all he could.
Final round's tough, man. Those first 3 team battles we did must have affected me a lot more than I thought, because I was just exhausted during those things. Especially that second half. I felt like I did a good job defending, but just not sure overall.
On the flip side, you have Owen's aggression and really impressive technique with the Nagamaki there.
Yeah. Fight hard. Sword big. Me sore.
It is hard to compare. I would say, Jason got the grab of Owen's weapon right at the beginning of the first heat, which is, I think, the best offensive action we saw that game.
Yeah, that was the strongest play.
But overall, Owen did get a few decent offensive actions in the second heat.
Jason had the best defense, and he had the strongest attack of both heats. Owen had an overall, best aggression and decent technique with the Nagamaki.
I think we have our decision.
I think we do. Let's call in the fighters.
Congratulations, contestants, on a wonderful final heats. Jason the Druid, you really showed a lot of excellent technique in this one, especially on the defensive side. Really just keeping it up, using that cross guard really well, and trying to just go back and forth, blocking your opponent's attacks.
Owen the Phoenix, your aggression was kept up and done well throughout both of the heats. It was very surprising seeing that amount of stamina and those big weapons. And on top of that, your technique with the weapon was impeccable. There was a lot of great flourishes and great combos and feints. Overall, it was you had a great offense.
However, only one of you can be today's winner. And that winner is... Owen the Phoenix. Your aggression, stamina, and weapon technique won you the day today. And we hope to see you next episode.
Of Night
Fights.
Good fight.
Ah, Liam, thank you, but shouldn't you be resting?
I don't remember you resting when you broke your leg.
So, why are you waiting out here?
You know, the way a fighter moves and holds a sword is a bit like a fingerprint. To the untrained eye, the twirls and swirls all look similar, but if you look closely, no two are alike. So tell me, Owen the Phoenix, what's your connection to entropy?
You ready? Let's go!